Let's get another round of applause because he's ready to come on stage. There you go.
Hello, hello. Okay. Sorry to take the slightly longer time to transition from this mic thingy and a lot of instruction on the pointer. All right. Welcome, first of all, and nice meeting you all. My name is Sijue, Senior Strategy Manager of Booking.com. So before I start my presentation part, I want to be clear that there are 30 minutes of panel discussion with the exactly same subject. So feel free to stay in and tune in. I will use my 10 minutes of presentation here to set the stage. And because we only have like in total 40 minutes, so we are going to be very concise on the scope we are looking at because travel is so big, right? So what we are talking about today will be focusing more on the traveler side of the story. So we are not talking too much about the partner side. We'll touch about like the provider side of the story, but more focusing on traveler story here. Okay. So travel is exhilarating. It's so exciting, right? I think we all can agree that it's almost addictive if it is not so hard. It's hard because I don't know about you. When I'm doing my travel, research planning, this is my first time in Moldova. I was so excited to really see the country first time. But I have no idea where to go, right? We have no idea which things should I do, which things fits me. We always say that travel expand our horizon. But when I'm doing my research, the only thing expanding is my browser tab, one by one, and then just keep growing. And not to mention also the disruption we have. If you are on your flight and you hear, "Dear passenger, our flight will delay for 1 hour." And good luck with your carefully planned taxi that's waiting for you right there after you get off your plane. And also good luck to your apartment key pickup that someone's literally waiting in front of their home to give you the key. You have no way to contact them. You have no way to contact them. So how do you actually tell them there's a flight disruption, right? So travel is really hard. I'm sure there's quite some investor and also entrepreneur here. It's very easy to understand that, okay, travel is so big in terms of the excitement we can bring to people. At the same time, there are so much problems still unsolved right here. It must be an interesting market to invest in, right? Okay, so let's look at another things that are important for ourselves to look at the new ideas and investments, the market size. Travel, indirectly or directly, represents about 10% of the global GDP, humongous, right? So if we pair with the pain points and the excitement that we can further enhance, it sounds like a perfect market to invest in, perfect market to create new ideas, isn't it? The capital market disagree. There's a research done together by the Focuswire and McKinsey indicating that only 1% of startup funding goes into travel. Why is that? Is it because the larger company actually trying to solve all the problems so that we don't actually need smaller company to help out, like Booking.com? Not really. We are trying our best, but we can't solve everything as well. One way to look at it is the intensity of the R&D across the industry. So the way of calculating that is we easily take the R&D spending divided by the total revenue we have. Travel consistently rank the lowest among all industries, meaning private market is not helping, public money is also not putting into innovation. So what's happening there? Does it mean that travel is so hard to innovate and invest in? Yes, at least in the past. So I want to use an example to illustrate it because we don't have much time, so I want to make it concrete. So let's take travel planning. The travel planning is literally one of the most favorite subjects for many investors and startup founders to creating new ideas in the past few years. Why? Because large language model, ChatGPT, GenAI. It's very easy to think, okay, I have spent so much time in researching and planning my trips to have a perfect trips for my family or for myself. It's such a pain point, right? It sounds really tedious. So since we have ChatGPT, we can say, okay, this is the what I want to look for, this is the date, and this is the companion I travel with. So help me to create the itinerary for me, just customize to me, right? So day 1, day 2, day 3, and ChatGPT actually did that. And all kinds of different startups, they are trying to use their own model or even borrow ChatGPT's own model to create their own startup to become a kind of digital concierge, to puke out, and literally using puke, to puke out a long list of itinerary. But can you name one company that do travel planning like this and actually still surviving today and having a large user base? Probably not, right? So what happened there? It sounds like magic in the heaven. You have a all-knowing magic wand to create the entire itinerary customized for the people, but people don't using it. So why is that? And by the way, media love this subject as well. Everyone will say, why trip planning is not working? And look at the dates. Some of the dates are really like old. Like, this is the old problem that everyone wants to solve, even before the Gen AI's age. So let's look at the actual problem here. Number one is that it's actually solving a wrong problem. So we are all travelers, so easy to imagine that we are also the users. So we know the problem well, right? So we can easily solve it because we know it. But we kind of make travel planning into one big lump of problems, saying just one single issue we need to solve to innovate from. But it's not true. Travel planning is such a complicated thing that actually split into multiple different stages of different actions. So first of all, travelers need to explore what kind of interesting thing they have. Secondly, they need to save it and curate what they have saved from the Google tab, from whatever source they have. And thirdly, they need to craft into actual plan on doing so. What the Gen AI startup trying to do is solving the first part. But why that's a problem? Because that's what they like. People like to do exploration. They don't want to be taken away. But the most problematic one is actually on the curation and crafting part, which most of the startups are not trying to solve from the travel planning standpoint. So that's number one. We try to use many founders or even investors fall into the trap that we use our own heuristic, believing that we are the travelers, we are the customers, we know the problem well, so we can find a solution easily matched to the problem we have. But it's not true. We need to look into the users first. We don't want to overemphasize our own framework to a problem other people have. We are an individual. That's number one. Secondly, travel is so complicated. It's really, really complicated. Personalization is a long topic standing in travel already. You have so many places to go, so many restaurants to visit, so many different routes you can take. How do I find out the best one for me and for my family, for my travel companion, right? Every single new parameter you add on top, let's say the budget, who you travel with, the destination, how far is it, how familiar you are with the location, can you speak the language, everything all together, just add layer of complexity. The technology in the past, even right now, has a huge difficulty of solving it. I will talk about more in the future. So the travel startup actually could not help to really personalize and provide the right recommendation to people yet. And thirdly, it's not unique to travel at all. It's the monetization route. One second. So that's the complexity of travel. And thirdly, it's about monetization. So travel has a huge, extortionally high customer acquisition cost, paired with a terrible user engagement and frequency at the same time. People usually, on average, travel 2-3 times a year, and the duration of late engaging with a certain service is so short, there's nowhere comparable to, for example, social media, where they see the inspiration from compared to, let's say, even Uber. Uber have even higher engagement rates and engagement time compared to many of the travel startups. So altogether, this, and at the same time that the incumbents also getting a lot of resource behind the gate saying, oh, we have all the inventory, we have all the relationship, good luck with you. How, if you want to get more money, you need to partner with us and get a revenue share. Well, yeah, at the same time, you need to convince us why would you like to do it with you. So altogether, all these factors making travel startups so difficult to monetize at this moment. So the third thing I've already spoke about on the heuristic on solving the wrong problem. So the second one and the third one can all be solved, because as long as we have the right problem to solve, the right product, the right founder, the right market, I believe the monetization model will emerge by itself organically. I believe if we have the right founder, we can figure out the right problem, the right solution from the founder side. But the first one is so intrinsic that we can't really solve yet in the past. What's changing now is, I'm out of time, so I'll be very quick. So what's changing now is technology. So there are two things that is actually changing on the complexity of the travel side. So in the past, we cannot personalize it well for the travelers. But because of the larger language model and also AI, well, just AI in general. So thanks for the previous presenter making me less cliche. So thanks to AI, so there are two things we can do now. Number one is to understand the traveler intent much better. Why? Because previously, what we can only do is to look at the behavior traveler has on the product we have. But now, in the future at least, every one of us right now are getting more and more used to using conversational interface. You know what that means? It's a tremendous amount of resource to understand traveler intent. You don't need to guess anymore. They will tell you, literally. And you can even feedback and ask follow-up questions if they missed anything. So that's number one. We are getting way much richer travel intent from travelers. Secondly, we actually understand data way better than before. Previously, we need to manually tag every single attraction, saying this is attraction, restaurant, accommodation, everything we need to do ourselves, tag the data there. Then we can match them to the travelers. But in the future, we don't need to do that. And we can even expand towards unstructured data. Imagine that, okay, I want to find the mid-centric design hotel interior kind of accommodations. How do you do so? There's no such a tag exists. I want to find a kids-friendly pool of accommodation that has some protection there. There's no tag, no filter you can do that. But now, with LLM, or with an image recognition, or any other kind of model that's being more developed right now, we can understand those unstructured data way better. So we can match from the supply side of what was on the map, what's available for travelers, to the humongous amount of increase in the intent, and put them together. So we have a huge hope that in the future that the Holy Grail will be reached on the first part, on the complexity. So given this, I'm terribly out of time, sorry for that. I'm going to welcome the three panelists.